Thank you everyone for being here even a little early. We'll just get right to business here this morning. This is a matter involving Flowerfield Township versus Dorothy Jean Randolph Kuiper. This is a property on Weatherby Road, which includes what looked like a prefab house and a camper trailer. This is one of the worst cases I've seen in some time. This property was condemned by Officer Kuhlman in March as being inhabitable, and council submitted a proposed compliance order, and we received a handwritten letter objecting to that. So we set the matter for a hearing. Let's identify who's here. What's your name, ma'am?
Connie Spigots.
And you are Dorothy Randolph Kuiper?
I'm her daughter.
All right.
Oh,
Yes, I am.
Also present is Douglas Kuhlman, Zoning Enforcement Administrative Officer for Flowerfield Township. Mr. Kuhlman, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to ask both of you ladies to all please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
I do.
I do.
All right. Officer Kuhlman obtained an administrative search warrant and went to this property after receiving some complaints that perhaps there had been a fire there. And it was in absolutely deplorable condition. He placarded the property as inhabitable and condemned it. We received a letter from Connie Spigots dated May 12th. I'll read it if I can. I was one of the people living in the trailer. So you were in the trailer behind the house?
no, I was in the trailer with her.
All right, so you call that prefab house a trailer? The primary residence?
Mhm.
All right, all right.
It's a trailer. It's two trailers put together.
Oh, all right. I am Dorothy Randolph Kuiper's daughter. How do you expect us to clean and do all you want done when we can't be in the trailers? We have L&L Junkyard come on Thursday morning to take 3 cars out of there. Camper is not plugged in anymore. And it also has permanent plates on it. So so does the other trailer.
We have another
Just a
trailer.
minute, let me finish this one. The sheds are storage. No one stays in them. Storage sheds, no one stays in them. The well is 7 years old. It said that my mom is 84 years old. She will be put through this. What have you got for me? Oh,
Look at it later. I just printed it out for you.
okay.
If you have questions, holler.
All right, thank you. So Mr. Kuhlman got an administrative search warrant, went out there in March. This property was not habitable. So wonder it didn't burn down. Had an unvented propane heater in it, and there was soot over every square inch of the interior of that house, including in the refrigerator. The trailer behind the camper, if possible, was in even worse shape than the house. There's no running water. The roof leaks. The sheds are collapsed. There's piles of trash and garbage in the yard. And there were 3 unregistered cars.
The
So,
cars are gone.
all right, so Mr. Coolman, what's the current status of the property?
Your Honor, we have not heard back. We got the same correspondence that you did. I think it's important to understand that, 99% of the time we placard a home is unsafe, which means you can make necessary repairs to a dwelling to make it habitable again. It is our Flowerfield Township building officials' opinion that this trailer or home is beyond repair. There's no running water. They've got 4x4 posts in the kitchen area holding the ceiling up because the roof is actually in the state of collapse. There was active cockroaches in the home when we were there. And then most alarming was that improper burning propane fueled heater. The only thing that really needs to happen is this home needs to be replaced. And I certainly understand that that's a financial burden for this family. And I would certainly hope that there would be some resource out there to assist them.
All right. Ms. Spickets, what's your position?
What was that?
What do you want me to know?
Well, they want us to clean the walls and everything. How can one when we're not supposed to be there?
All right, well, there is that. I don't believe this property can be salvaged. This trailer needs to be removed from that property. It would take tens of thousands of dollars, maybe more, to make this property habitable. The trailer's collapsing, the floor's collapsing, there's no water. There's soot over every square inch of the place. There's no heat source. I would not spend any time trying to repair it. I would spend time getting whatever you wish to salvage out of there. Ms. Kuiper, where are you living now?
We're with my sister, Bangor, Linda, Nash, Earl.
So you're living in Bangor, Michigan, and you're living there too?
She took us in because we was out on the street, had no place to go.
Well, it's better than where you were. That didn't happen overnight. That was years of neglect or decay. It was referred as there'd been a fire there. And people saw open burning inside the premises. And so they called the fire department, and then they called the zoning people, and they couldn't determine that there ever was a fire. Was there a fire in there sometime in the past?
Ever, never. We are trying to get into an apartment at Mellow.
It's a trailer in Meadow Lane.
Yeah. We're next to the
Trailer
line.
In Three Rivers?
They will be moving, gone forever, everywhere. My husband's also a veteran. He died and left me, and he's a World War.
When did he die?
He died in August of 2023. This August will be 2 years he's been gone.
He was such a wonderful man. He was in Italy during the war. He went through that. Died 3 days before his 100th birthday.
Wow.
I have his flag delivered by the military, and I have his ashes. I'm hanging on to them. And so there is.
Now, do you own this parcel of property?
Who?
Do you own the property everything sits on?
Yeah,
All right, how big is it, Douglas? Do you know?
it's 1 acre,
All right,
1 square acre. Lots of lumber. Everybody's after lumber.
there's trees on it?
Huh?
Trees on the property?
Yeah.
Are the taxes current?
Yes, every bills are all paid up to date. Taxes.
I don't see any reason why the compliance order should not end. Ms. Geschwind, I haven't given you a chance to say anything, but let's go through the compliance order that you prepared and submitted. The township is asking for an order that says, no person shall live in, sleep in, dwell in, cook, or bathe in any travel trailer, camper, motorhome, motor vehicle, shed, garage, or any other temporary makeshift shelter on the subject property. The defendant shall eliminate all power and generators connected to any such temporary shelter by no later than 10 days after the signing of this order. According to you, the camper is disconnected from power and the cats are no longer living in there. No person or domestic animal is permitted to live in, stay in, sleep in, cook, or bathe in the house on the subject property until it has been certified as safe for human habitation by the township building official. By no later than 30 days after the signing of this order, the defendant shall remove all junk, tarps, trash, mattresses, construction materials, cast off, garbage, and debris from outdoor storage in the yard of the subject property. By no later than 30 days after the signing of this order, the defendant shall remove all unlicensed and inoperable vehicles and parts thereof, including all 3 motor vehicles parked on the grass and all motorhomes, campers, trailers, and tires from outdoor storage on the subject property. Ms. Geschwind, the exception would be the keyword unlicensed. So if these things are licensed and plated, they would have the ability to keep the stuff there, including a camper, if it was licensed. By no later than 120 days from the signing of this order, the defendant shall remove all piled content and clutter from inside the shed on the subject property and shall replace the roof. I guess you'd also have the option of just tearing it down. If the dwelling house is eliminated from the property, the shed must also be demolished. No one may live in the shed. Shall remove all exterior electrical connections to the white and gold orange trailer on the subject property. And in order to achieve occupancy, the defendant shall undertake the following efforts with respect to the house on the property. And so this is what they're asking for, but it doesn't make sense. By no later than 60 days after the date of the signing of this order, the defendant shall hire a professional exterminator to clear the house of flea, cockroach, and rodent infestation. By no later than 30 days after the signing of this order, the defendant shall remove the propane field heater from inside the house on the subject property. The heater is improperly vented and was never inspected and cannot be used to heat the interior of the house at all. The defendant shall seal off the gas line to the propane heater and remove it from the connecting point. The defendant shall remove all interior clutter from the house, including trash, pile items, and ensure that there's a clear aisleway to every interior room, to the door, around all electrical outlets, water heaters, and appliances. They shall return water service to the house and obtain a well permit and get a new well installed within 80 days. By no later than 30 days after the signing of this order, the defendant or a contract shall pull all permits in order to repair the following items identified by the building official not presently up to code. Now, Ms. Geschwind, these are all unrealistic because this house is not redeemable. So by no later than 30 days, this is what they're asking for. You shall replace the rotting flooring on the north side entry of the house, replace all burned and charred interior walls of the house, replace damaged and charred windows and window frames throughout the house, remove burned, charred, and soot-covered ceiling in the rear bedroom. That was just amazing how bad that was. Remove charred light fixtures throughout the house and replace center support wall in the interior of the house. Remove toilet, shower, electrical fixtures and burned walls, ceilings, and floors, and renovate the bathroom and place the shower, toilet walls, and ceilings. Remove the supporting 4x4s from the kitchen. Remove ceiling and replace support walls, provide seal plants for the same, and disconnect or replace the kitchen appliances and washer dryer. Shall replace the exterior roof and shingles over the kitchen area presently covered by the tarp. Shall make entire exterior weather tight and remove deteriorating deck from the south side of the house, place with a code compliant access structure. Remove tarp and replace the entire roof on the north side of the structure. If the defendant shall diligently work to complete the repairs within the time frame specified in the permits. Permits are pulled, but there's not effort to undertake the required construction. The effort to retain the house shall be deemed abandoned, and the defendant shall raise the house and all other structures on the property by no later than 30 days after the date of pulling the permits. The defendant shall remove all debris from raising, decommission the septic, cap the well, and return the parcel to normal grade. That's what needs to happen here. If all permits are not pulled by no later than 30 days after the signing of the order, the effort to retain the structure shall be deemed abandoned. The defendant shall raise the house. So if you don't get any permits, you have to tear this house down, raise the house, shed, and all other structure on the property by no later than 60 days after the signing of this order. The defendant shall remove all debris from the raising, decommission the septic, cap the well, and return the parcel to normal grade. The township zoning administrator and code compliance officer is Douglas Coolman. Questions as to whether items left or stored outdoors may be directed to the enforcement officer, Mike Hayden. Township zoning compliance officer, building official, and ordinance enforcement officer granted access to the property for purposes of compliance inspection and to take photographs of the interior of the house, camper, shed, and other items on the property between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. for the purpose of safety, progress, or compliance inspection. Paragraph 12, if the defendant fails or refuses to abide by any of the provisions in this order, occupies or allows occupancy of the house on the subject property, or temporary sheds, trailers, or vehicles, or fails to obtain permits, the house is deemed to be abandoned, fails to meet any of the deadlines, township will enter an order requesting the defendant show cause why should not be found in contempt of the compliance provisions of this order. And I don't think you're going to try to live in there again. If a contempt hearing is necessary, the court will consider the township's motion to demolish the house, shed, and structures on the property, shall remove all items constituting ordinance violations from the yard, cap the well, and decommission the septic, remove all debris from the yard, and charge the cost to the property and to the defendant. Ms. Geschwint and Mr. Coolman, obviously, I don't think these parties have the wherewithal financially to do all of these things. I think what's going to happen is after 30 days, this property will be deemed to be abandoned. The township will then come in and remove it, remove the sheds, remove anything that's still there, and charge the cost to you and place a lien on the property. Now, this is way out in the country. You got to really want to get to Weatherby Road. It's almost in Cass County. In fact, I wish it was in Cass County. I knew some people that lived out there and went to a graduation party once there several years ago, and hell, I couldn't even find the place. But you don't have the ability to fix this. So it will be in your interest, really, to have this just returned to a 1 acre parcel of property, which somebody might be willing to buy. Because right now, anybody that buys this is just gonna buy all of this giant headache. Once it's cleared up, they will spread the cost on the property. So there'll be a lien on it, and once it's sold, the proceeds of the sale will go to pay for the cleanup and the lien of the property. You're presently living in Bangor, you're trying to get residency at a trailer in Three Rivers. One issue is the house was full of cockroaches, and hopefully you didn't take those with you to your next place.
We haven't moved yet.
So where are you living now?
We're living at my aunt's. in
Okay,
Maine.
so yeah, to your aunt's in
Mhm.
Bangor. So the cars are gone.
We've had offers on the trailer, we've had offers on the land.
All right, very good. Cars are gone, the cats are gone.
No, the cats are still there. My son don't have nowhere to take them right now. He's staying with the neighbors, but they've got dogs and they said he can't bring the cat.
All right, well, what's his name? He was the guy that was mostly living in the camper. What's his name?
Joseph Spidgets.
So he owns the cats.
Yes,
Are the cats still in the trailer or are they in the house?
they're in the trailer.
Eeh, I just can't. That trailer was one giant litter box and had 2 electric heaters in it. It's amazing the whole thing didn't burn down. Ms. Geschwint, my inclination is to grant your order, compliance order as requested. You guys need to stay in contact with Mr. Coleman. If you've got somebody that's willing to buy the property and remove this stuff, it's a nice flat piece of property. It's on a public roadway. It's got standing timber on it. It'd be valuable to somebody. But the way it is right now, it's not valuable to anybody.
My son wanted it, and he's in Alabama, but he just didn't have any way to take it out and get it down there on, huh?
The camper.
Yeah, the camper.
Yes, well, you're gonna have to get that camper's gotta smell like cats for in perpetuity.
Your Honor, I have not been out there in the last week, but I will tell you the township called me last week and said they got a complaint that Mrs. Kuiper is still staying in that trailer.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Is Joseph still there?
No, he lives on the corner at the neighbors.
All right, well, if anyone's in there, they're gonna be in violation of this order.
That being said, Your Honor, may I request that we cut the power at the curb?
Well, they might need power to, I don't know what. All right, here's what the house looked like in March. Is that correct, Mr. Coleman?
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
There's the front entryway. Here is the heater that amazingly didn't burn the house down. it just burns open into the room with no vent. And that's not a very good hookup, also likely to leak propane or gas into the house. Is that a cement floor?
No, it's those, blocks that you buy like at Menards.
No, but down here, under where the pipe comes out.
No,
That's a
That's
wooden
car-
floor.
Oh
Your
my
Honor.
gosh. There's the soot walls. Is that Joseph sitting on the couch?
yeah,
Um, that's a bedroom. Did anybody sleep in this room?
not at that time, no.
One time, not, no.
She slept in it for a long time.
Well, Officer Coleman put his finger on the globe of that lamp, and that's the soot that was on there. And that one, I about fell out of my chair. That's the rear bedroom. It also looks like there's plants growing through the roof. There's a pillow in there that,
Your Honor, can you go back to that picture for just a minute?
yes.
So that's one of the concerns. It possibly has some termite infestation as well, because those are the two walls right down the center of this home. And as you can see, they're deteriorated and falling apart as well.
We'll skip past the toilet with no running water. No one can take a shower in here.
We paid $7,500 for our well.
7,500?
Yes,
Why is there no water now?
Cause there's a pipe underneath that's broke. And I don't know how to fix that stuff.
Yeah, that's the walls that are deteriorating. And there's the 2x4s holding the kitchen ceiling up from collapsing. And again, everything in here is covered in soot. There's even soot in the refrigerator. There's one of the coach roaches. Even the dish scrubber is covered in soot. And there's the interior of the house again. Deputy Jennings looking good. Exterior of the house, does the roof leak?
It did in the little bedroom.
All right, and then I guess you can kind of see it was two trailers put together and then sited. And then there's a bunch of stuff outside. Spring is starting there on March. And there's a water spigot, but apparently the water line is broken. And that's the shed that is collapsed and ready to fall over. These are the three vehicles which apparently have been removed. A Volkswagen, a Cadillac, and maybe a Chevy Malibu. That's the back side of the trailer. There's power to the unit. And if that wasn't bad enough, then we have this trailer in the back with just garbage thrown out the door.
You know, there's a big tree that fell on top of it, so you couldn't.
Oh, so there's a tree that fell on it since
Right
this?
now, yeah. My nephew lives next door to me, Randy Harrison. And his land borders mine.
Is he interested in buying this?
No,
Ew. This is the inside of the trailer where the cats live. And Joseph, I suspect, was living out there. There's heaters and a fan. Is that pretty much the way it is right now, the way it was in March? All right. Now, they're asking, the township is asking me to just shut the power off at the pole. And that way no one can live in there. Officer Coleman, how recent was the information that perhaps someone was living there?
I just got the call last week, Your Honor.
Well, they can go there during the daytime to get their property. But nobody can sleep in there.
Yeah, that's what happened. They're bothering us all the time. You know, we can sit outdoors in the daytime on the deck.
Well, the deck has about collapsed.
Well,
So do you go there like sometimes during the week to visit the place?
We go and sit out on the deck.
Why?
I grew up there. That's my home. I was 5. And it hurts me that it's, I can't be there anymore.
Well, you can't. Nobody can live in that house. This is 2025, St. Joseph County, Michigan. Nobody should have to live like that. And I'm not gonna allow it. But you go sit there on a deck among all the squalor and the 90-degree heat. But I'm sure there are things in there that you wish to salvage.
Yeah.
Your memories, everything, every single thing in there is covered in soot. So I wonder you guys are alive after breathing that.
we have another problem.
What?
We have Jerry, who I was married to. His flag is there. It was brought in by military. And so is his ashes. They cannot be removed.
Why
Not
not?
even if I want to. Because it was put there by high military.
No, they can be removed. You don't want those in there when this property is torn down.
You can't burn them. We can't burn
Well, I
them.
don't want you to burn
It'd
them. I
be
want
treason.
you need to get his property out of there. You need to get your property out of there. Ms. Geschwint, your idea does have some logic to it, but I'm not gonna grant it at this point. Just gonna sign the order as signed. You might need lights in there to remove stuff. You might need to run a fan, although it just blow all that soot around. So a tree fell on the camper, so that's,
It's not falling on it now, but the branches are on it from the tree.
She's got a picture of it. Do you want to see it?
My
no,
phone's in
what
the
I
box.
saw is probably sufficient. All right, my secretary's not here. I'm gonna go print a couple copies of this compliance order. I will sign it. I'll give you ladies a copy of it here. Now, Mr. Coolman or Mr. Geschwint, correct me if my analysis is incorrect here. I think what's going to happen is you're not going to make any improvements on this property. I would not suggest that you hire a exterminator or make any improvement on this property because it's not fixable. You would put $200,000 into a $500 dwelling. So if you don't do anything after the signing of this order, after 30 days, the township will come in and clean this piece of property up and put the cost on the tax roll, on a lien on the house. Now, if you have somebody that's interested in buying it within the next 30 days and they purchase the property, they can contact Mr. Coleman about how they wish to proceed. But no one is ever going to be able to live in that house again. Now, there's a well on there. Well, I'm not proposing to dig it up, but it has to be capped. So if there's a $7,500 well, it'll still be there. And when it's uncapped, it can be used to provide water. But they won't need any water because there isn't going to be a dwelling there. Good morning. Ms. Geschwint, anything you wish to add here?
Nothing further. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Coleman?
No, Your Honor, I'm satisfied.
All right, ladies, I wish I had a better answer. As you said, this was your house. Once upon a time, it was probably nice. But over the last 25 years, it's deteriorated to the point where it's almost collapsed. And I don't know how you guys survive with that propane heater going in there all winter long. All right, I will sign the compliance order. If you ladies wait right here, I'll have the clerk provide you with a copy of it. I read everything that's in it, but you'll have a copy of it in your hand. So basically, you need to get what you want to get out of there within the next 30 days.
We have 3 giant cabinets, 1, 2,
Got one.
4. Grandfather clock.
Yeah, I saw some nice, everything's covered with soot.
But
you're gonna need to-
get on there. We want to move into this camper
There's trailer.
and this trailer over there. You know, we're trying to get into.
But you don't have room to fit all that stuff into that trailer.
Well, we gotta do something with it.
Yeah, you might need to get a storage unit or something. All right, that completes this record. I'm gonna go sign the order. I'll give you ladies a copy of it. And I'm sorry we've come to this. All right, we'll stop the record. We have another case that starts at 10. And Ms. Geschwint and Mr. Kuhlman, I'll see you again next time, which will probably be sooner than we all wish.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. What is a Honda Grom?
A motorcycle of some sort.
Maybe I'll Google it. Honda Grom. Oh, this darn room. Good afternoon, sir. This is Judge Middleton. Are you John Williams Heath III?
Yes, sir, I am.
Mr. Heath, we met. I just woke you up, but I got some cases I need to address here today, some misdemeanors and a couple of felonies. Also on the record with us is the Chief Public Defender, Mr. Keith Stickley, and Prosecuting Attorney Deborah Davis. Mr. Heath, let's take care of the misdemeanors first. 25805 ST is a DWLS. You failed to appear for an attorney pretrial. And we're gonna reset that. They show July 11th. That'll be for Judge Pattison, I guess. Bond in that case is $500 cash or surety. That allegedly occurred on April 22nd of 2025. And no, excuse me, April 29th of 2025. And on that case, you also had a failed to display a valid plate. Bond, and that one is $100. June 24th of 2025, which would be a couple days ago. That's file 251227ST. That is a charge of driving suspended. That's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. A show a plea of not guilty. Set an attorney pretrial for July 11th, 2025. We're going to appoint an attorney, which I believe will be Jordan Harden.
Your Honor, is it possible to see if Mr. Stickley can appoint the same attorney that the other cases are open with, so that we're not.
Well, that's Rhonda Ives is on the other case. Yeah, we were talking about that. I think Mr. George is the duty week and he's gonna have a conflict. So we'll see. I put a appointed attorney question mark. So that's June 24th, 25. Bond in that one is also $500. Cash or surety. Then there's another driving suspended from May 8th. Where we need to arraign you. Same charge, driving suspended, first offense. 25886 ST. Plea not guilty. Set APT for July 11th. 2025830 and appoint an attorney. All right, that takes care of the misdemeanors. Now we've got a couple of felonies we need to address.
Your Honor, it would be appropriate, see if I can recap.
I'm sorry, you broke up a little bit. What did you say?
I said, it would be appropriate if possible for me to have a brief breakout with Mr. Heath.
Yeah, that would be fine. I'll set one up here.
Thank
you. All right, this should just open up automatically. It looks like they woke him up for this. Long night. Well, the way they've got these listed, they've got Rhonda Ives in one case and Ross Truckee in another case, and I'm not sure. I'll let the public defender's office sort that out.
Well,
But it
that's
would
what I'm hoping can be sorted out, because the way that they're doing it right now, there's 4 attorneys billing for one hearing and one defendant. It's not ideal.
No. Well, Rhonda Ives is his current counsel. And Ross Truckee, they're already got 2 different attorneys appointed. They're already counsel of record. I think, yes, I'll let them sort it out. He doesn't need, so far, he would have 3 attorneys. He doesn't need that many attorneys.
No, I think with the way that they're doing the contract now, they should be able to streamline it and put people with one attorney.
All right, Mr. Heath, we're back. We've got 3 felony cases that I need to get back on track. The oldest one is from May of this year. That's filed 25814FY. You failed to appear for a pre-exam conference. He had an attorney, Ross Truckee, in that case. I'm gonna reset pre-exam for what the clerks tell me, July 8th. That'll be me, I think, at 8:30. Preliminary examination if needed for 7:15, 2025 at 1. And Ms. Davis and I were talking while you were in the breakout room, Keith. Right now, we could have 3 or 4 separate attorneys. It might make sense to consolidate it into one, but we'll have attorney. Right now, it's Truckee.
That's fine. We'll do a little bit of a deep dive here, Your Honor, and if we have to issue a notice of reappointment, we'll do so.
All right. The next case is file 25102-002FY. That is a fail to appear for a pre-exam conference on 2 counts of R&O. Resisting, obstructing a police officer. I'm going to set everything for the same time. Pre-exam for July 8th at 8:30. And a preliminary examination if needed for July 15th at 1 o'clock. That one presently shows Attorney Ives and Rhonda Ives. I'm going to set a bond on those 2 in a minute. You have some new charges that occurred 2 days ago. It's alleged that on or about June 24th in Sherman Township, you did flee and elude a police officer, 3rd degree, Deputy Clay Hoggard of the Sheriff's Department, while he was in uniform and in a marked vehicle. The way this is charged, that's a felony punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment, a fine of up to $5,000. It's alleged that you were driving a stolen Honda motorcycle that belonged to Michelle Covey. It's commonly known as unlawfully driving away an automobile of another, UDAA. That is a felony punishable by up to 5 years imprisonment. Suspend your driver's license. There's another count of resisting and obstructing a police officer, Deputy Hoggard. Another count of assaulting or resisting Deputy Zach Zuck, and assaulting, battering, wounding, or resisting Chief William Burgoyne of the White Pigeon Police Department. So that's not good. I'm going to appoint an attorney, set pre-exam. We're going to be busy on July 8th. At 8:30, and a preliminary examination if needed for July 15th at 1. You're already bound over to circuit court. And what the district court number was 241813 on a charge of fleeing, eluding 2nd degree. You're also bound over to circuit court from March of this year and resisting and obstructing a police officer in what was District Court 25501. You also have a felony fleeing and eluding charge in circuit court for fleeing and eluding and an R&O in file 202689. Again, that's the district court number. I'm not even sure how you're out or why you're out, Mr. Heath, but I'm not going to put any bond conditions. I'm just going to deny bond in all 3 of these felony cases. That means they have to do your case theoretically within 90 days, or you'll be entitled to a bond.
Give me about 15 to 20 minutes.
You got 3 R&O fleeing kinds of cases. You got 2 such cases bound over to circuit court. You have at least 1 prior. You were also wanted in Indiana at one time, I think, on similar charges back in 2021. So you're on a roll and it's all downhill. I'm just gonna hold on to you. Bond can be reviewed at a later time, but this is a matter of safety to the public. I see you're in a cast. Were you injured last night or the other night?
No, a couple nights ago, I was in a crash. I hit a tree at 90 mile an hour and side by side. I
I want to talk about
got a
that.
deep thought into my head. And I
All right.
let go of the steering wheel.
When was the crash that hurt your arm?
It was 2 weeks ago, I think. It wasn't just my arm. I broke my hand. I broke my neck. I broke my left leg. Yeah. There's a plate inside of my neck that if it shifts correctly, it'll move and pierce into
You're
my
right
spine.
where you need to be. You're gonna kill yourself or somebody else. All right, let's recap. You've got 4 misdemeanors, all set for July 11th at 8:30. You've got 3 felonies. Resisting and obstructing, 2 counts of resisting, obstructing, and the other count with auto theft, fleeing and looting, and 4 counts of resisting and obstructing. You need to be in jail. So those are all set for July 8th. They had to wake you up. I think you're probably doing some heavy crashing right now. Go back, get some rest. Your lawyer's gonna come out and see you. Right now, you have a total of 5 felony cases, 2 that are bound over, 3 that are pending preliminary examination, and 1 that's on the way, which would make number 6. So, Mr. Heath, you go get some rest. Your lawyer will come out and see you, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I wasn't clear about the crash of the Honda side-by-side 2 weeks ago. Is that something that is off our radar?
There's a case pending for it, I believe. So,
Well, all right, he don't care and anyway, there's nothing more to say about it. He's right where he needs to be. He's not, shouldn't be out on bond. I'm not sure why he's out now, but, well, Judge P can deal with him on, July 11th and I'll deal with him on July 8th. All right, thank you both for making time for this.
well, thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Hammadi, Curtis Brent Hammadi, 25R513 and 926A.
Good morning, gentlemen. Can I get your back, Mr. Hammadi? Somebody's going to get the record. Curtis Brent Hammadi. Judge, today we have set for sentencing this matter. We've had a chance to review the pre-sentence recommendation. Judge, there's just one issue with regard to a correction with regard to Mr. Hammadi's past criminal history. The report does show a conviction from 1999 for a operating while impaired charge from Arizona. That was never a conviction, Judge. That case was actually dismissed.
How did you ascertain that?
It was according to Mr. Hammadi, there was an issue with the state of Arizona and the breathalyzers, so they ended up doing a mass dismissal of people who were charged at that time because there was, I guess there were issues with the BAC calibration with regard to the machines. So he was never convicted on that case.
Well, that's kind of important here. It's really important.
Yeah, he said he's never even been to court on that, Judge. He just got a phone call saying that that case was dismissed.
Can you call in Beth? I mean, it's strange the way it's entered here. It's disposition. Let me wait for her to come in. You guys can stay right there. Probation found that. But I mean, this is a checkered past you got here.
Yes, sir, I've made a lot of mistakes.
Ms. Wild, your name?
Elizabeth Classification Owner.
I'm curious as to where you saw this conviction in 1999 out of Arizona. Do you remember doing the PSI in Mr. Hammadi?
I would have to look at the blue back, Your Honor.
Yeah,
We
I'm
do
gonna-
run the out-of-state records, but I'd have to look at the
He's
blue back.
telling, and he was never printed either on this. I don't believe. Let me double check. No, he wasn't printed on this one either. But he's contesting that the 99 drunk driving was a conviction.
Was not a conviction.
Well, yeah, I understand. He's saying it was not a conviction.
On his driving record, date of violation 3/19/1999 out of Arizona. It's operated under the influence of liquor, convicted 3/19/1999.
Let me see that. I must have missed that.
Default. Your Honor, right up here at the.
Yeah, let me see that.
Judge, Mr. Hammadi is claiming that
That was the
March
actual arrest
19th is
date.
the actual arrest date. This case was never adjudicated, Judge.
They can't even find a case number. I did research myself extensively because I knew that it was gonna show up. They actually issued an abatement a long time ago that I never took into the motor vehicle division to get it off my record. Now that it's been so long, I've called every agency out there. They can't even find me a case number for it. But I promise you, I was charged with it, but I was never convicted or they did a class action with.
It does say date of violation and conviction date is the same date.
Yes, sir.
And it does say trial default. I don't know what in the world, you can't be defaulted on a criminal case. Here's what I'm doing. Can you make a couple of calls, but you don't have to do it now.
Yeah, it is old. I don't know if I'm gonna make it anywhere. I can also try to run maybe in Arizona.
Here's what I'm doing. We're gonna adjourn this and you have to go over and get printed and photographed today. And whoever you're talking to, you can get a letter from them, right?
Whichever agency you spoke to. you get a letter
City of
saying-
Phoenix Municipal Court was the last person I talked to, and they said that I would actually have to physically go in there
Oh,
to
come
get
on.
an abatement, and then I could take it down to, that's what they told me over the phone, Your Honor. And they couldn't find that case number anywhere. I even called the arresting, Phoenix PD, the actual precinct that I went to and got looked at. They don't even have it.
Well, I don't want to guess. See what you can find out. We'll adjourn. I hate to do this, adjourn this at 2, but are we going to do this on the 24th?
Yes, 8:30.
7:24 at 8:30. You get what you can. That sounds ridiculous. If we can assist you in any way.
I've actually had the City of Rockwood chief helping me with it, and he couldn't even find the case number, Chief Kraus. I had his help on it. He's been helping me since the start of this, and
Maybe you can find it, but I want you to know, I'm not impressed at all with your record here.
I understand that. I've made a lot of mistakes, and a lot of them could have been prevented, and
I mean, you got at least 3, including this one. Now, I get the fact that they're over multiple years, but let's see what we can find out. Don't spend too much time. If you can fight it out without too much trouble, great. If you can't, come talk to me and you figure out what you can. But you do go down the hall, get your notice, get your order for prints, and go over to there today. Will you please? Mr. Hammadi, do you understand what I'm saying? Mr. Hammadi, do you understand what I said?
You have any questions, ask the judges.
you want me to go to Rockwood PD to get,
You have to go over and get fingerprinted on that case. You were never printed.
okay,
Okay? Good luck.
All right.
But she has to go to Gibraltar. They do prints for Rockwood.
Oh, yeah. They'll explain that to you. Rockwood does their prints through, sir, listen, you're not going to Rockwood. You're going to Gibraltar. Because Gibraltar prints for Rockwood now. They started doing that 3 months ago or so. All right, good luck. Thank you. Thomas, James Joseph Thomas. 2B141019. Your name?
James Thomas.
All right. Do I have, who's his lawyer on this one?
Crawford.
Is he coming? Did he talk to his lawyer yet, Detective? Do you know?
He talked to him yesterday. He didn't talk to them today. When I contacted the court, they told me to get him on Zoom.
Lisa, what do you know about this?
This is going to go to Mr. Gaith. This is one that you just scheduled from yesterday.
Yeah, we'll set you up with Mr. Gaith. He didn't speak with Mr. Gaith yet, right?
No, I didn't know if that was a video or who that was.
That's okay. Take this to Mr. Gaith and tell him we'd like him to get on with this gentleman as soon as he can.
Okay.
And then we'll take care of this, Detective, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, people against Thomas, James Joseph Thomas, 22B141019, 24W726283. All right, your name, sir?
James Joseph Thomas.
Detective?
Morning, Your Honor. Detective Crystal Tulas, Brownstown Police Department.
Michael A. Carmen, P73824 on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
All right. I think the first thing I'd like to do is look at take this UDAA case. So, and then I'll come back to the misdemeanor that he absconded on. So for purposes of arraignment on the UDAA, how does he wish to proceed?
Your Honor, he'll stand mute, waive the formal reading.
Okay, Mr. Thomas, I'm going to advise you of your rights, sir. You have the right to remain silent. You do not have to say anything. If you say something in or out of court, whether orally or in writing, it can be used against you. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to be represented by a lawyer not only today, but at all subsequent court proceedings. If you cannot afford one, you can apply for one at public expense. Also, if you choose to submit the questioning with law enforcement, you do have the right to be represented by a lawyer at that questioning. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to a probable cause conference within 14 days. You have the right to a preliminary examination within 7 days thereafter. At the probable cause conference, your lawyer will discuss the case with the prosecutor, see if they can reach a resolution. If it does not resolve at that stage, you have the right to a preliminary exam, at which time the people have to show that the crime was committed of UDAA and that you were the one who probably committed the crime. If they prove that, you'll be bound over for further proceedings to the Wayne County Circuit Court. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, so probable cause conference will be July 8 at 9:15. That's in front of Judge Hessen. Preliminary exam will be July 15 at 11 a.m. That is in front of Judge Hessen. So we can address bond on that. But let me, before I do that, I'm going to go on to this other file, 22B141019. Mr. Carmen, your appearance?
Michael A. Carmen, P73824 on behalf of the defendant, Your Honor.
Sir, your name?
James Joseph Thomas.
I placed you on probation in June of 22, June 22nd. I think, let's see. And then you just didn't show up anymore. I told you to acquire test results from a doctor on March 13 of 23. And then I said I wanted your mental health records and I wanted to review April 11 of 2023. You were to get both of those things. And you didn't show up. Why didn't he show up? That was April 11 of 23. I issued a warrant.
Back then, I had a problem with substance abuse. I was going back and forth to the addiction, fighting it, trying to get better or whatever. And I had the wrong mental health, and I had different different things playing against me or whatever, but I've been clean since October 3rd. I've been to the doctor once a week, taking a drug test in Wayne. I live in Wayne in an apartment. I got a job. I've had a job since around the same time, since around December. So right after I got clean, I went to treatment at Sobriety House and Salvation Army. My peer recovery coach is in the courtroom. I just seen her walk in. I got clean time now. I go to NA program. I'm in the NA program. I just went to the camp out. I go to meetings every day. I got a coffee position. I'm a hugger and greeter chair from a Darkman. Like I'm getting involved.
Slow down. Just slow down. Is he employed, Mr. Carmen?
Your Honor, he is.
Yeah.
He works full-time at, I believe it's Simply Bright Construction, full-time, earns about $500 a week.
Do you work 40 hours, sir?
Yes, I do now.
All right, and what exact date did you get clean?
October 3rd
Of 24?
of 24, yes.
Why didn't you show up since then?
I just haven't, I haven't dealt with it. I know I needed to deal with it. You try to get my probation reinstated and fix the legal problems, but I just started with the program and I just been working to stay clean. It's been really hard to stay clean, but I'm there. I mean, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I'm with Pure Psychology, getting mental health, and I'm with a doctor, addictionologist in Wayne, getting help, and I also reside in Wayne. And then I have a peer recovery coach.
Slow down. What is your new address?
32652 Bluebird Lane, Wayne, Michigan, 48184. I've been there a year.
Detective, was he notified on this other case to show up? The warrant was issued in 24 as well. The UDA, slow down. I'm talking to the detective, okay? Just let me, do you know if anybody, go ahead.
I don't, Your Honor. I believe it's a Woodhaven case, it's not ours.
Oh, that's
I don't
right.
know if or not, but I would say that his address with Secretary of State hasn't been updated in a few years, so that could be why they might have sent notification to the wrong address.
Yeah, I was never notified.
All right.
Yeah, I will come.
Sure.
I will come to probation.
Honestly, you've really gone out of your way to not cooperate here, okay? So you're not going to get a person. Listen, I'm going to get you an early date. I'll be fair with you, but you've proven to me you don't like to show up.
Can I do it?
Sir, I heard everything I need to hear here, please. 6,010% on 22B 141019. Lisa, I'd like to, is this going to be, can we do this tomorrow? Do you think? Let me just check something.
Do it tomorrow or July 8th.
I don't want to keep him in that long. Even I want to be a lot more fair with him than he's been with us. But I do want to, I almost need an updated screening. This is so old. Sir, you keep interrupting me. I'm trying to be patient with you. I really was asking your lawyer to talk, not you, and you're going on. I'm just going to ask you to refrain. Will you do that for me, please?
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to keep him, I'm not going to keep him in that long. We'll do tomorrow, and we'll do that at 8:30. Can I do it at 8:30? No, I don't need to do it at 8:30. That's fine. We'll make it at 11, and then they can do an updated screening today, okay? Updated screening and assessment today, probation can. So if you do post this money, you're going to have to come in here and be screened and assessed today. If you don't post it, today, then you're going to be in custody until then. And let me just check one other thing here. You also have other warrants. You're aware of that, right? So
Yes, sir.
I'm not the only one you don't show up in front of. You've got a habit of doing this. 10,000, 10% on this, on the felony. You cannot leave the state without the consent of the court or violate any law. You must appear in court as directed, no contact with the victim or with prosecution witnesses except through your lawyer. Again, you cannot violate a law. You must appear in court as directed on that one starting on July the 8th at 9:15. You're making matters worse by not showing up. Do you understand that?
Yes.
So if you post the 600, nobody here is going to be unfair with you, but you need to show up in court and stop acting like a fugitive. June 26th at 11 is the sentence, updated PSI screening. So we're going to have probation get a hold of him over there. There's no reason for you guys to come over here with him. And then July 8th at 9:15, you'll be in front of Judge Hudson. Any questions, sir?
No, sir. That's it. Is the bond only 600 to bond out, is what you're saying?
600 on one case, 1,000 on the other.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. James Joseph Thomas, 22B 141019 OM. Mr. Crawford, your name?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Michael Crawford representing Mr. Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, your name? Your name, sir? He's muted. He's muted. There we go. Your name?
James Thomas.
Detective, your name?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Crystal Toulouse, Detective, Brownstown Police Department.
And Mr. Crawford, I believe you already entered your appearance. Did you have the opportunity to review the report with your client? Are there any material additions, corrections, or deletions?
No, Your Honor.
Anything you'd like to say?
No, Your Honor, except I think my client wants to report that he's clean now. He's in a much better position with respect to his sobriety, and he's just throwing himself on the mercy of the court.
Anything you'd like to say, sir?
Yes, sir. I got a job now. I'm clean, like he said, and I'm clean since October 3rd. Back when we were doing all this, I wasn't in the best frame of mind, I guess I'd say. I was still using real bad. I didn't have permanent housing. I was homeless and bouncing around. Now I've had the same house for a year. I got a job. I'm paying my child support on 3 kids. I don't know what the best option is to do here, but I'd like another chance if I could to at least go through a work program or something where I don't lose everything I've built. Last time I came in front of you, I was like 120 pounds, beat all the way down. I'm healthy again. I'm doing the right thing. And I know I need to handle this. I have other things I need to handle that are legal. This is just the first step in it. This is the first time in my entire life I've been clean, ever. And I'm a member of Narcotics Anonymous. I'm going every day. I got service positions. I'm really doing the right thing now. Back then I couldn't have done what you said, even if I wanted to. I was so spun out on drugs. It was bad, man. It was really bad.
Day did I set this bond? It was yesterday, wasn't it, Lisa?
Yes, he was in front of you yesterday.
Your record doesn't support the fact that you've become a choir boy.
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay?
Actually,
it's uglier than sin. I mean, I got yesterday you were so adamant. I don't understand. There's no way you're gonna comply with probation. You didn't before, you haven't since, you haven't done anything. I just don't see the point. Lisa, I just want to double check. I'm still sentencing him on this March 13 of 23 probation violation. That's what this is.
That's correct. It's a violation sentencing.
I would like you to get his probation officer in here. Who was your probation officer again? Do you remember, Mr. Thomas?
It's Elizabeth
No, sir, I
Wild.
don't.
It's Elizabeth Wild.
Yeah, it's Elizabeth.
Call her in.
She's on her way.
I just need to check on how much credit you have. I think you have a day's credit from yesterday. I don't believe you did anything on the court work program or community service, did you, sir?
No.
I just need to verify that. Swells, your name?
Elizabeth Osfish, Your Honor.
I just want to verify he doesn't have any credit coming other than yesterday, right?
I don't believe so. I don't know if Mr. Gates represented him. I spoke with Mr. Crawford. Oh, Mr. Crawford's there. Very briefly, I didn't see any credit when I went through the file when it would come to any jail time credit, Your Honor.
And you were picked up yesterday, sir?
I was picked up Tuesday afternoon.
Anything else, Mr. Crawford?
No, Your Honor. Again, we would ask the court to reconsider any thoughts of jail time My client, as he's mentioned, is in a very different place now. He'd appreciate the court support and helping him move forward. He understands when he was ordered to comply with probation, he failed horribly because he was still struggling. Perhaps the court would consider giving him another opportunity and discharging him without improvement, maybe with some type of fine or something for him to pay. I don't know what the court can fashion, but throwing him in jail is really going to set him back. What he's tried to build and try to stabilize in his life.
Anything else, Mr. Thomas?
Sir, this is the first time in my entire life since I was 12 that I've been in this position. I couldn't even function back then when I was dealing with you guys about probation. Right now, like I said, I've been at the same house for a year. My girl's 16 years clean. She's a recovery coach. I go to work every day. I say I won't do probation, but now I can stand up straight. I'm clean. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I would definitely follow through with probation. Back then I wasn't in the right place.
Probation's revoked. You're to pay costs of $650 and serve 90 days, credit 2 for 88. If you pay costs of $650, I'll suspend 30 of the 88 and you'll only have to serve 58. You have 21 days to appeal, 14 days to apply for a court-appointed lawyer for purposes of appeal. If you pay that money, you'll be out in 58 days. Otherwise, it's 88. I'm sorry. Good luck. Thank you. David Allen Story. David Allen Story, 23F2408-208.
Good morning, Your Honor. Yeah, it's still morning, I guess.
A and B, and this is A20A, and then I've got 322F, 3237377, A and B, and I've also got 25F, No, I just got Mr. Story with that one. I apologize. Jeez. All right, go ahead.
Yes, Alan Green, the fourth, PA2657, appearing on behalf of David Allen Story, which it's actually in the Wayne County Jail. It's in the breakout room.
Lisa, are we?
Yeah, I'm trying to move him out of the breakout room.
Okay.
Got 2 seconds left.
Okay. David Allen Story, 25T708117. Good morning, Sergeant.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Your appearance?
Sergeant Aaron Police Department.
Please your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm on the penalties of perjury, the testimony you give in these proceedings will be the whole truth self you got.
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Your Honor, on March 4th, 2025, at approximately 5:45 p.m., Trenton Police Department officers were made aware of a police pursuit initiated by Wyandotte PD for a hit and run crash. Patrolman Fields from Trenton PD observed a fleeing vehicle on southbound West Jefferson and Sibley Road entering the city of Trenton. Patrolman Fields was in a full police uniform, fully marked patrol car. He activated his emergency lights and sirens and began pursuing the vehicle. The defendant vehicle disregarded a red light at southbound West Jefferson and King Road and accelerated 50 miles per hour in a 25-mile-an-hour zone, residential zone, including past a park located on West Jefferson. The defendant's vehicle became stuck in traffic on West Jefferson and West Road. Patrolman Fields and Patrolman Limbaugh from Trenton Police Department approached the defendant's vehicle and observed the lone occupant of the vehicle and later identified as the defendant, David Allen Story, white male, 7/27 of 1973. The defendant was placed under arrest and taken to Corwell, Trenton for a blood draw. A blood sample was analyzed by the Michigan State Police Laboratory with a result of 0.317 grams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood. The defendant's driving record is also listed as revoked with 6 prior alcohol convictions. Referring to the 2 prior alcohol convictions for the third offense notice, we're showing December 17th, 2003 out of the 82nd District Court, as well as July 25th, 2012 out of the 34th Circuit Court.
Okay. Was there an accident?
Not an accident. I'm wondering if the prosecutor got confused because it was an accident in Wyandotte. And I think they listed that as the third offense notice, but.
No, but on the fleeing.
On the flee elude, right.
He wasn't fleeing and eluding at the time of the accident in Wyandotte.
That we know of. But I think the third offense, or I'm sorry, the third degree, he goes through a residential zone in a park also, so I don't know if that covers it or if that's side of the degree.
Okay. I didn't hear you say that there was an accident.
Yeah, there was no accident in the city.
I was kind of thrown for a loop there.
Right.
Give me one
I
second.
was reading that myself.
Give me 1 second here. Oh, wait a minute. What street was he fleeing and eluding on?
The entire time was on Jefferson.
Yeah, so. And the speed limit is 35 miles an hour there, right?
Not when you have, after you go south on past Truex, it drops 25.
Okay.
Residential.
But it's at least it's 35 miles an hour or less is, I guess, the way I was putting
Yes,
it.
right.
So I'm gonna make this, all right. I'm gonna strike. I have to change this on both the complaint and the warrant. If you just give me another minute. So I'm just gonna change this. I'm gonna strike which resulted in a collision or an accident. I'm gonna add in an area where the speed limit is 35 miles per hour or less. The court authorizes the complaint. I find probable cause to believe these crimes were committed. OWI 3, you do have the drive while suspense, revoked, denied second. And there's sufficient evidence for the prior conviction giving rise to the habitual second notice, which was back in 2012, the conviction for OWI 3. You've already signed the complaint. And I'm going to go ahead and sign it and date it and initial the change on both the complaint and the warrant. Okay, I think that covers it. Have a good day. Thank you. Bye now.
There he is.
Mr. Story, your name? You have to unmute. Name?
David Story.
So he's going to plead guilty to suspended driving, correct?
Absolutely.
If you do that, sir, the possible penalties are up to 500 fines, 93 days jail. Costs are all those 2 points. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You're presumed innocent. They have to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to a trial by court or jury. You have the right to question their witnesses, to bring in your own, to use the subpoena powers of the court to bring in those witnesses. If you plead guilty, you'll be giving up all those rights and we're not going to have a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Charged driving on a suspended, how do you plead?
I plead guilty.
Operating a motor vehicle on Gibraltar near Hall in Flat Rock, August 24 of 23.
Plead guilty.
I know. Were you operating a motor vehicle on that date, at that time, and at that location?
Yes, I was, sir.
And was your license suspended?
Yes, sir.
Are you on probation or parole?
No.
Anybody forced you to plead guilty?
No, sir.
That plea is accepted. You've been in custody on what other case?
I'm on a case out of Brownstown, driving under the influence.
I'm just trying to figure out how long you've been in there and for what. So you've got
I've been in for over a month, Your Honor. My next court date is the 21st of July.
I think he's been in since May 12th.
Who's that case in front of?
Downtown.
Oh, I see. So it started here, but it's a felony and you're in circuit court?
Yes, sir.
All right, anything else?
No, except that the prosecutor was comfortable with time served.
100 fines, 200 costs, 75 victims' rights fee, $50 justice assessment, 4 1/4, or 23 days credit 23. You'll be released in terms of this case. Good luck to you. People against Sturdivant. Princess Nicole Sturdivant.
Your Honor.
There you go, Your Honor.
Yeah, you're all set, Mr. Story.
Thank you,
Good luck.
sir.
Judge Hessen called her into her courtroom real quick. She's got another case in front of Judge Hessen.
Okay.
So.
Are you gonna be doing house counsel work?
Here and there, yes. I work in the office with Mr. Grimm.
Okay, well, good. Good to have you.
Yes, thank you.
What's your name?
Alex Green.
Mike McDonald. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Good to have you. Good to have you here. Is Rachel still around or is she leave?
She still may be around. I just saw her.
Okay. I'd like to talk to her, but we got so much, I got afternoon docket, a bunch of other cases here, I think. So, good to have you.
Thank you.
All right. Keens, Timothy Neal Keens, 23R513178.
Good.
Go ahead.
Okay, good morning, Your Honor. Alex Green the fourth, PA 2657, appearing on behalf of Timothy Michael Keens, who's zooming in from the Wayne County Jail.
Did you talk to the prosecutor about this one?
I did not, because I have noticed that my client wishes to get some discovery, and I didn't see anything in the file.
Okay. All right, Mr. Keens, your name?
Timothy Haynes.
How long are you in custody there for on other cases?
I have no clue. I'm waiting for my tether. This is holding me up for my tether. So I asked for a discovery for this case.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. I hate to see you sitting in there all day. It's too bad you didn't show up for several days. It's too bad you didn't show up when you were supposed to. Give me a new date on the Rockwood case, Lisa.
Judge, okay, I just want to be sure what we're doing here, because if we do discovery, this Mr. Green won't be here.
It's gonna go back to
Except for a pretrial today.
Right. It's going to go back to Mr. Gaith.
Okay, should we just have Mr. Gaith talk to him today? It's on the docket for a pretrial. I don't know if they realize that.
I think Mr. Green did, and his client wants discovery.
Yep. Of everything.
That's fine, Mr. Keens. You don't have to.
Well, I mean, it's not no one else's freedom.
July 10th, 8:30.
Well, I don't know what you mean by that. We're trying to accommodate you here. I don't have any problem with you adjourning it.
Thank you.
Do you have other hopes?
No, but this case was 23 out of, I think it was Taylor.
Okay.
And so that was a possession of some type of drug paraphernalia or something of that nature, and he missed a couple of court dates on that. And then he does have a bond in this case that he hasn't posted of $250, $2,500, 10%.
That he hasn't posted.
Yes.
Right. Because he didn't show up on this one either.
I didn't have that.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here in 2023. What is all this yellow stuff all over this docket? Lisa? My grandkids got the crayons out. And do you have any idea?
On the file?
Anyway, July 10th at 8:30. Good luck, Mr. Keens. We'll see you here then, okay?
Yep. Thank you.
Right.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. But
So I stay here for another 10 days?
I'm not letting you out. You didn't show up here for 2 years.
The papers went to my house and my mom's house.
No.
When I lived in Taylor.
No. I'm not lowering your bond. I'm not giving you a personal bond. You've been playing with us. Okay? No. That's why I was questioning why you wanted to adjourn it, because you're not, unless you can post a bond, you're going to be sitting there. And I don't know how else to put it.
I'm suing those cops.
I'm sorry?
I'm suing those cops. This is horseshit.
Go ahead. Show up in court. You would have had your day in court. You'd have been acquitted 2 years ago. I don't want to I'm not gonna go on that. I could care less if you sue him. Go sue whoever you want. Sue me if you want. Show up in court. Good luck. If you want to do something else, I'll be glad to have you get the police report from Rockwood and
Please do.
go talk to him some more. I don't have any problem with that.
No, I think that the major issue was he was looking for, and I did explain that there was no guarantee of personal bond because he hasn't been missing court dates.
And he missed not only this, he missed Taylor too.
Right.
So this is not an anomaly. Let me check something here. You know, it never fails, it never ceases to amaze me, okay? He's got it warrant out of Hazel Park, warrant out of Southgate.
I had time for Hazel Park.
Out of Livonia, warrant out of Taylor, another 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 one out of Taylor. He doesn't show up on this for 2 years and he wants to talk to me about suing cops. Do whatever you gotta do. I don't know who you think you are. You must be running the Pentagon at least. Shut him off, Lisa. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks. I'm not gonna listen to this nonsense.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. I got one more. I'll be back.
Take your time.
Okay.
Take your time. I'm doing fine. I get tired of hearing their nonsense. I mean, everybody else's fault. He's got warrants all over the county.
Yeah.
And it's everybody else's fault. He was living in Taylor and he didn't get his notices yet. You just heard how many warrants he has in Taylor. I mean, you know, I feel bad he's sitting in there, but I'm not gonna give him a personal bond when he didn't show up here for 2 years and has 10 other warrants. I'm just not gonna do it. I mean,
$1 million bonds.
Mm-hmm. There's an aggravated assault. He's got
That should be over, it's 50,000 for appraisal.
He's got aggravated assault and a murder, but the aggravated assault is they're less than that.
Yes, sir, but I thought I saw where it was
We've
like,
got two cases called now, 23 CR 1222 and 23 CR 951. Both the state of Texas versus Jeremy Dixon. Mr. Dixon? Yeah, present with your attorney, Mr. Vasquez, and the state's attorney. All right, the court has reviewed these files and recalls these cases. Go ahead, Mr. Vasquez.
Your Honor, it's a $1 million bond on the murder is the one most concerned with, and we'd asked for the bond to be lowered to $150,000, giving Mr. Dixon a chance to bond out. I've spoken with family members, but none of them are here to testify. They're hoping they can pool the resources and come up with enough money to sign a contract to get to Mr. Dixon out. They've spoken to some bondmen and he could get out and work until his trial date and maybe hire a lawyer of his own choosing.
How would that work? Well, he hadn't hired one yet, right?
No, sir.
Well, he says he has zero income. This was back on October 23 when he was arrested about 2 months after the murder case was filed. And he claims zero income, and that's my writing. I wrote it, zero income according to the defendant. That was on what's changed.
Your Honor.
Wait a second. What's changed? You know, he's been in jail. So how can he hire somebody if he has zero income?
Judge, I don't want to misrepresent anything. I'm thinking, or it's been indicated to me that the family members will try and raise him.
What's stopping them from doing that right now?
I don't know.
What else do you want to add? Because I've got some things on the record.
That's all I have.
Anything from the state?
Just that the nature of these two cases, that the timeline in which they occurred, makes it very clear to me that the bond is sufficient, and should not be lowered.
Okay, anything you want to say?
Yes, at the time, October 2nd.
Of what year?
23. I was already incarcerated August 6th. I was arrested August 6th when I lost my job because of my arrest.
Okay. Have you been in custody ever since?
Ever since.
Yeah. Okay. So where would your income come from if you were released?
Work.
What work? What work do you have?
Well, my family has a mechanic shop.
Oh, okay. Are you good at it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, how much do you get? How much do you get paid? How long did you work with them?
Well, all my life.
All your life? Oh, okay. And you are right now what? 30, 35. Okay. And you've been working for them. And you've made a good income?
That's it.
Since how long were you working for? Like when you turned 18 or something?
Yeah.
And so about 16 or 17 years? Okay. So how much is it that you made?
I go by commission.
Sir?
You go by commission.
Oh,
50%
okay, whatever. How much income did you have annually about?
Oh, 50,000 a year.
50,000 a year? That's pretty good. I want you to send me all your income tax returns so that I can verify that. And those are on file. Get them to me so I can look at them, okay?
I haven't filed taxes since 2021.
Get the ones you had before. Get all the tax returns that you have filed. You can get those from the IRS, copies of them. You ought to have copies.
Yeah.
Get those so I can verify that you really had an income like that.
Yeah, and I work side jobs too.
That should be on your income tax return.
Yeah, it's all on them.
Good. Then get them to me. Get copies to me. Do you understand?
I don't.
That's the first thing. The next thing is the record's going to show a couple of things. Number one, this 23 CR 951 is the first event. And this alleges that on July 2nd, 2023, you were charged with that you committed aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, a second-degree felony, with the use of a deadly weapon, namely an automobile. And that was indicted, looks like 3 weeks or so after the event. The grand jury got on that pretty quickly. When were you arrested on that case? Do you remember?
I wasn't.
You never were?
Never were.
There was a warrant issued on that day, a capias for you.
Well, I was told the warrant was issued August 9th after I was already arrested.
It was issued the day it was handed up by the grand jury on July 26th.
And I was also told that that indictment was about hearsay and allegations.
Don't talk about that.
But the grand jury indicted you. That's all that's important. The grand jury indicted you. They have evidence, probable cause you committed a crime, period. That's the way indictments work. It's not a debate on what the evidence was, but they handed it up. You're going to interrupt me?
So
No, yeah. You're in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. The worst thing is to be rude. You get the chance to speak, but don't interrupt me. It seems like that's what you do, is kind of control the environment you're in. We all have a fair opportunity. Don't step on me when I'm speaking. She has to take down everything that's said. When we both speak over each other, she can't do it. When she can't do that job, the Court of Criminal Appeals, the highest court, gets upset with somebody because they say, we want to review what goes on in the courtrooms. But when everybody's speaking over each other, the court reporter can't do her job. So someone gets in trouble. It's going to be you, not me. Do you understand? Don't speak over me. But we learned that in first grade. Don't interrupt. you'll get a fair chance to be heard. Okay, so we have an indictment and a warrant pending on July 2nd of 2023. Then on August 6th of 2023, what's that? A month, a little over a month later, it is alleged you committed the first degree felony of murder. Then a warrant comes out on that because that's indicted on August 23rd. So they indicted you about 2 weeks after this. So there are two warrants. What was the date he was arrested? And each of these involved.
Day of the murder, Judge.
Okay. Each of these allege you committed violent crimes and used a deadly weapon in each case. So those work against you. When it's an aggravated crime, when there's two aggravated crimes, you get double trouble. So what are his bonds on each of these?
50,000. No, it's never. And 1 million on the murder.
And this first aggravated assault, it was alleged that you drove over a human with your automobile, and they were injured because of that. The other motive, you used a firearm in the killing of another human being. Okay, the other seven. Not going to this. Case criminal history here. About criminal history, Mr. Vasquez, anything you want to comment on? Because that's one of the factors in setting a bond is the circumstances of the crime. And in this case, two violent crimes committed within a few weeks of each other. And aggravating offenses that are from an aggravated assault next to a murder. The court is reviewing a criminal history data. And what do y'all want? Anything you want to say? Because it's 4. Well, the criminal history is 4. Looks like the defendant was placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation on 2 cases in 2010, illegal possession of controlled substance and a theft.
That's correct, Judge.
Did he satisfactorily serve those probations?
As far as we know.
Then in 2013, he was convicted of failing to identify. That's a misdemeanor, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And then also convicted in 2017 for eluding or fleeing a police officer. What happened on those 2 cases, please, on the controlled substance and the theft? There's F as in Frank 98069 and F as in Frank 10-9188. He was placed on deferred or unadjudicated probation on August 23rd of 2010. Did you serve those out satisfactorily? How long were those deferred? How long was the deferred? Does it show?
I believe it was 5 years.
But he's convicted in 2013 of failing to identify. I guess they didn't revoke him for that.
Yeah, that's a little.
You know anything about that?
I don't.
I think he's acting like he knows.
What? Yes.
I was let off early on probation.
Oh, they dismissed it early?
Yes.
Okay.
Well. The oh nine.
You can get it off. You can get dismissed in a third if you do well. A third of it. So what's a third of 5? 1 2/3. 1 2/3 years. So this, you're on deferred, and then 3 years later, you're charged with failing to identify, because so your probations could have ended then.
An
Before
MTRP was filed.
Ma'am?
But an MTRP was filed,
On which case?
the 09-8069.
Yeah, the controlled substance.
But then they did early dismiss his probation in 2013, February of 2013.
What happened in the motion to revoke
I'm
probation?
assuming it was recalled. In the images.
Okay. All right.
Judge, I will also point out to the court, that's not going to be in that criminal history because it was run when this was indicted. But he has a 2023 offense of discharging a firearm in a municipality that he pled to while he's been in jail.
Okay, it's a class A misdemeanor, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The both on together on probation, so both were dismissed on January 20th.
Do you have a driver's license? Did you have a driver's license? An active, valid one?
Yes, sir.
It was not taken away? It wasn't? You certain?
Yes, sir.
Do you know how many traffic violations that you were charged with between 2019? I'm sorry, between 2007 and 2019? That'd be 12 years. Do you know how many?
Oh.
Yes. I mean, it's your life, you know, but I'm looking at it.
I mean, I don't know how many, but
About how
I
many?
had tickets on it.
About how many tickets would you say you got?
I paid $7,300 worth of tickets.
$7,300? No. How many separate offenses of operating motor vehicle irresponsible? About how many? You know, it's your life. I know how many I've gotten. Yes.
Don't know.
Well, about when? About how many?
I don't know.
38. 38. That's
That was from
yeah.
the affected party.
Yeah, I think it's, and also these are misdemeanors, but it's a whole bunch of them. Plus theft, disorderly conduct, illegal possessions. No, there's a cluster of state jails between charges in 2009, 10, and 11. Anyway, the problem is that for someone, you know, at you from youth, you have been consistent in hitting crimes, and these are just getting worse. We go from traffic violations, which are Class C misdemeanors, and now you've got a first-degree felony of a murder, an aggravated assault, a second-degree felony, all within a month of each other. You pick up these, and so the aggravated nature of each of these crimes are most disturbing, and then your criminal history has gone from numerous Class C misdemeanors to now first-degree felonies. And the circumstances of the crime in each case are severe. Your criminal history, even though you're not loaded with a lot of felony convictions, it has been a consistent pattern of irresponsibility in failing to follow the rules. All right, anything else?
No, sir.
Anybody want to add anything?
No.
The court finds that the bonds are sufficient in their amount because the reasons for bonds to be set based upon the circumstances of the crime, in this case, 2 separate serious violent crimes, including a most serious murder. And those are worthy of high bonds to not only show the seriousness of these crimes, but to protect the community from further criminality of the defendant. Now, we're set for trial coming up, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we tried to get it last time, but this is on our radar. So are we going to try the murder or both at the same time?
Just the murder.
right.
I plan to offer extraneous evidence of the other.
Or anything else, Joe?
No.
All right, that is all. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is not good news for you. Come on up. You tested positive for marijuana. What are your bonds in these cases? All right. In 23 CR 905 and 907, ma'am, as you know, you are charged with the state jail felonies of forgery and fraudulent use of identifying information. And these are state jail felonies which carry with it up to 2 years in the state jail on each case. On your bonds, the first bond condition is do not commit a crime. That's the first bond condition of everybody's conditions on bond. You have tested positive for THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, marijuana. You have marijuana in your system. Thus, that is a crime of illegal possession of drugs. Her bonds are what?
10,000.
They are revoked. Now they are doubled to $20,000 each. Plus, you must have a drug patch as a condition of bond so that we will be testing you constantly to make sure that you don't fall on the bad side and continue to make mistakes here. You're looking at up to 4 years in confinement on these 2 cases. You've got to deal with these responsibly. And this is not responsible behavior by failing to follow your bond conditions. And most certainly, you have to avoid drugs. That's crazy. We will tell Mr. Dusler about this. I want this set here. Can you, we have a docket tomorrow? Is that correct or not? Yeah. All right. I'm going to add it tomorrow because I'm looking at these cases and the circumstances, and she admits to the crime.
There's supposed to be an affidavit because the situation was.
There were 2 co-defendants. One of them admitted it, and then at the last minute said that it was her idea.
Trying to hook them
At Milton on February 10th. I spoke.
Because she was the
Yeah, but no. This isn't a debate. I'm going to read to you what the problem.
thing was on the paper, but I'm telling you,
You're going to interrupt me?
No, I'm not.
You're taken into custody. You're going to interrupt me? That's not the way to handle it responsibly. That's not the way. This isn't a debate. This. Hold on. The probable cause affidavit signed by the officer states he spoke with you on February 10th. You provided a voluntary statement saying you're the one that picked up the identification cards outside of the gym and had the check in your possession. When confronted with the fact that the driver, the other person, confessed to signing the check, you told the policeman, told the officer, the driver only did that to protect you. So you admitted, you confessed to this crime. Now, the other one did too, but you were insisting she was wrong. She was covering for you. That's your fault. So that's what you're stuck with. That doesn't look good. But there's a responsible way to handle this. Everybody makes mistakes who are in this room, who come in. Just fix the mistake properly. Be responsible. There are proper ways of handling it. And number one is work with your attorney. But number two is don't commit crimes while you're on bond. Don't ever commit a crime, but being around drugs, even if, look, if you're around them, you need to run. If it's marijuana, you know what it smells like, you run away. Because you're apt, you are required, you can be tested at any time under the eyes, all people on the bonds. Why you'd even get around it in the situation you're in is flirting with trouble. But we're going to put you back on the docket tomorrow to bring you up and see if get Mr. Dusler up here to deal and talk to you about how this might be something that can be disposed of in your best interests. Okay, that's what we want to do. But you got to be honest and follow the rules. And those are the same things I got to do. And that's the way you fix a mistake. Everybody makes a mistake. Me, you, we all do. It's how you deal with it. That's really the test of your character. Are you a good person? Then deal with it responsibly. Fix this. This is fixable. And that's why I'm bringing this thing back up tomorrow, that it might be able to get fixed tomorrow. Now, do you have stuff, private stuff that you need to get to your family or something? Because you're under arrest until you can post this bond and get a drug charge. And that's why it's going to probably not be tomorrow. That's why we're going to bring you back tomorrow. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Oh, I'm not letting you out when you have drugs in your system. I'm not letting you walk out of here.
Well, no.
You get work. The bailiffs are good people. They'll take care of all of that with you. But you've got to be, you're stuck here.
So
you've got to act more responsibly.
So tomorrow,
we're going to bring you back tomorrow morning and hopefully try to resolve this. Thank you.